This is a Null Island Space Agency update. Okay, as you might or might not know, this year I'm gonna plan a rover mission, but of course with the pandemic and everything, I'm a bit strapped for budget, so I have to recycle, which is not a bad thing in itself. So this is gonna be the basis for my rover. It currently runs on normal fuel stuff, which isn't good, and it's quite dirty and things. But this car, the mechanics still work. I got the tires somewhere. I have an integrated brake, and I have a working steering rack. Basically my plan is to remove the motor, remove the remote control, and the battery compartment and everything that's connected to, you know, the old school motor thingamajig. Replace it with a stepper motor, a geared down stepper motor, so it's, instead of going 50 kilometers an hour, it's probably gonna go like 2 meters a day, if that. But I'm gonna use, where is it? My classic radio Arduino, with the housing and a big solar panel on top. Still have to look into how to do this, but it's gonna be quite a challenge to drive where I'm going. The rover mission will start here, right next to Solstice, because, well, that's what I decided to do. And it will go here. As you can see, it's not gonna be easy to drive through all that stuff, but it will go here past weather 1, which is holding up quite nicely, I have to say. It's just printed PLA, no additional paint, no nothing. There are some gaps in there, but it's just working. Well, then the mission will proceed here, trying to find ground it can drive on. Go between some quite complicated obstacles. This is gonna be interesting because there is a quite big depression here. Let's see, where are my feet? There. There's a quite big depression here. It has to drive over that, avoid all the loose stuff. Somewhere here, I think, with the view through the woods, I'm gonna place a radio relay because it's still inside of the antenna of Solstice. I'm gonna run a cable up there to power it all. Yeah, it's hard to see, but I'm gonna run a cable up there to power the radio relay. That's gonna be relay 2. Relay 1 is closer to the destination. The rover will have to drive through there, hopefully not get stuck on anything. Have either drive down there or up there. That's what I'm gonna decide when it's time to do the mission. And this is the area we're gonna explore. Either this tree stump or this tree stump will be the location of relay 1. I'm probably gonna put it down there because the tree stump is bigger and I have a bigger space to mount it all, but this one of course has better area for sunlight, so I'll have to decide. And this is the pond, which this year looks a bit bad, but this is where we're gonna explore around. And as you can see, it's not easy terrain, especially for a solar powered rover, because there is shadow, there are some areas with sunlight, but yeah, we have to just find a way to do this. To implement the radio relays, I'm gonna use my two Arduino prototypes. So they're working, they're tested, they don't have a lot of the features of the finished Arduino, but they have a real-time clock for scheduling, and they have the radio link, and that's probably all I'm gonna use. Maybe, I don't know, I think of something, but probably that's the only features I'm gonna use. And of course the good voltage regulator. This is B, that's gonna be the relay 2, which is gonna pull power directly from Solstice via this, where is it? This length of cable. It's like 25 meters, and that has to be enough because that's all I have and all I can afford for the moment. And it's gonna have a very high-tech housing to house it all, which is gonna be this thing for a washing machine, this pot thingy magics. But well, it's plastic, it's fairly watertight. I can put some additional sealing stuff here, drill a hole here for the antenna, and then put this thing in and just screw it to the wall or glue it to the wall, and that's basically it. And I'm most likely gonna use one of these antennas, not the stubby ones, but one of these that I use for most of my projects, because then I can have the housing sitting here with the radio Arduino in there, and put the antenna high up somewhere where there's good reception. For the far radio relay, which is gonna be relay 1, the primary data relay, I'm gonna use the A prototype, which is exactly the same, except a bit better tested than the B prototype, and it has a bit better soldering quality, but well, that's beside the point. And even though I said I'm not gonna use lithium batteries in my projects, I practically had no choice, because that's the stuff I had laying around for, you know, that's replacement for my lamp I use in winter, but I had these parts, so I'm gonna use them. There's a very basic battery management system where I think it costs €6 for 5 of them, so you can pretty much guess at the quality of those, but hey. And I'm gonna use a basic DC to DC converter to power it and charge it with some diodes, so if the batteries fail or the BMS fails, I can still, in theory, directly power this from the solar panels. Which brings me to the solar panels. So wait, they are too big. One moment. And this is one of the solar panels I built for my water feeler missions. It's 50 by 50 centimeters, and it's pretty weak for its size because, well, it was designed by me, and I was still learning. So, but yeah, it has some shorts between some cells, but it's very much enough to run the Arduino prototype in just radio relay mode without actual science hardware, so that's more than enough to power this and charge the batteries even with only a couple of hours of sunlight every few days. And for the relay too, I'm gonna print a housing, unless I can find some ready-made plastic box where all this stuff, or rather this stuff, and everything fits inside. But I think it's either I just mount it on some plate and just hope that's watertight and make a housing for this, or I make a housing for everything. But I have a housing for these two already. I can't show it at the moment because the paint is still drying and I don't want to have paint on the solar panels. But I'm probably just gonna print a housing for this, paint it over a couple of times so it's more or less watertight or water resistant. And I'm currently printing some brackets for the solar panel so I can put it up at 45 degrees. I'm printing that in white ABS. I usually avoid working with ABS because it's not the most pleasant material to work with, but I have like 2 kilos of that stuff lying around, and well, that's what we have, that's what we're gonna use. Hey, future Kevik here. Okay, this is not gonna work. I tried to print the mount multiple times, redesigned it, tried different materials. I just couldn't get it not to warp, and frankly, I'm done with it. So, off it goes. And we're gonna use something even older. That's the solar panel I used for water feeler 1. It's now a bit worse for wear. There are some cracks in some of the panel, the solar cells, but it still works, and it should produce somewhat enough power to at least run the radio Arduino during the day and run it in low power modes, like every 10 minutes from battery during the night. Probably a better result in summer, but whatever. So, and I'm not gonna make a complicated mount. There's a tree stump. This will get propped up like nearly upright. It's not efficient, but anyway, it should work. Wood screw here, wood screw there, we're done. Back to the regular scheduled catastrophe. Update. I hacked together relay 2. I had to hurry, so I don't have video of me making it, because I wanted to finish before the thunderstorms roll in, and I still have to bury the cable that's running to Solstice. But yeah, it can't get more low-tech than that. This is the just cable guide stuff, hot glued to the housing. So, well, that's just, you know, yeah, nothing to say really. That's just something that works, I hope. Okay, as soon as I have more information, I'll post another update. Bye!